Welcome to our Annual General Meeting 2026.
Today, we pause to look back on a year that has shaped us in ways we could not have imagined.
A year of growth, of stepping forward in faith, and of discovering what it means to grow where God has placed us.
Through every moment, both seen and unseen, God has been at work.
In the lives changed, in the seeds sowed, and in the journey we've taken together as a church.
So as we reflect on all that has been,
We invite you
to sit back
to take it in
and to journey with us
through the year that was. At the start of the year, our leaders gathered seeking God's direction for the season ahead.
Through our leaders' retreat, AGM, and times of prayer and reflection, a clear vision began to take shape.
In the previous year, we expanded our territory.
And this year, we were called to grow into it.
And as God continued to grow our church, more leaders were appointed.
Faithful servants called and equipped to support His work with love and compassion,
Alongside them, our leaders recommitted themselves.
serving wholeheartedly with humility and with a renewed sense of purpose.
One of our first moments as a church to come together was the Festival of Praise.
A powerful time where voices were lifted, hearts were aligned, and we were reminded of our purpose to let God be praised.
Different ages, backgrounds, and experiences came together as one body.
United in worship, declaring that everything we are belongs to God.
It wasn't just about singing.
It was about realigning our focus, shifting our eyes away from ourselves.
And placing them firmly on Him. This year, 9 individuals made a life-changing decision.
Baptism Sunday, a bold declaration of their faith,
A public expression of an inward transformation.
saying, "My life belongs to Jesus," leaving behind the old life.
And stepping into a completely new life in God.
As Easter came, we were invited to reflect more deeply on the story of redemption,
On Good Friday, we look back to the Passover,
a reminder of how God brings His people out of bondage and calls them into a new way of living.
a call to live a holy life that's devoted to Him,
And then came Resurrection Sunday,
a celebration of victory, of hope, and the life we have in Jesus.
As a church, we came together in unity for Fundraising Day,
Not just to raise funds, but to invest in the future of what God is doing among us.
Every contribution, no matter how big or small, became part of something greater.
It was a day where God taught us how to grow where He has placed us, not only spiritually, but also in how we build, serve, and care for one another.
As we celebrated our Filipino culture through food, games, and fellowship, we testified our lives to the greater community.
That we were a church committed to following God. Throughout the year, we journeyed through the Old Testament together, standing on the shoulders of giants who followed God even through the ups and downs of life.
Through their stories, we encountered faith, trusting God even when the outcome was uncertain.
We saw courage, standing firm even when it came at a cost.
We explored justice, living rightly and reflecting God's heart in the way we treat others.
We experienced grace, seeing God's mercy again and again, even through imperfect lives.
We witnessed perseverance, holding on through seasons of waiting, struggle, and challenge.
And through it all, we held on to hope, the assurance that God is faithful to His promises.
Our youth experienced their first youth camp this year.
Even before camp began, they came together, raising funds, serving, and supporting one another.
Learning unity, sacrifice, and purpose even before stepping into camp.
And during those days together,
They discovered that the way we view each other shapes how we serve.
and that true unity is found in God,
They began to understand their identity in Christ.
and to discover the gifts God has given them. Our children stepped into a time filled with joy, laughter, and discovery.
At KSBC, they explored one simple but powerful truth.
That their real treasure is found in Jesus.
Through stories, games, songs, and shared moments,
Seeds of faith were planted in their hearts.
helping them begin to understand what truly matters.
Not what is temporary, but what lasts forever.
And in their joy, their kindness, and their openness,
We saw glimpses of lives already reflecting Him.
at family camp, we were reminded that faith is not just personal.
It's something we pass on,
A legacy of faith built in our homes and lived out daily.
where children learn what it means to follow God.
By seeing it lived out in lives of those around them.
Through shared moments of worship, teaching, and fellowship,
Families were strengthened, not just individually, but together,
it was a call to focus in on eternity.
to build the legacy of faith Christ has entrusted us.
This year, we took a bold step of faith.
Stepping into new ground, establishing our new official location in Drogheda,
What began as a humble fellowship
became a new church as we started holding Sunday services in a new place of worship.
Mission Week reminded us that the gospel is not meant to be kept, but to be shared.
Throughout the week, we stepped out in faith, reaching out to friends, family, and our community.
Through conversations, invitations, and events, we wanted more people to encounter Jesus,
And in the process, we learned something important,
that our everyday lives are our mission field.
that God has placed us here to be living testimonies for Him. This year, we stepped into a new mission field,
Our first mission trip to Senegal.
a new territory expanding our reach for the gospel,
Through gospel sharing, medical missions, teaching children,
building churches and running feeding programs,
we were able to serve communities in practical and meaningful ways,
meeting needs not only physically.
but spiritually, bringing hope, love, and the good news.
We saw God move beyond our borders. It reminded us that His mission is not limited by our locality.
And that we are also called to be part of His Great Commission,
And as we served, we were changed too.
with a deeper understanding of God's heart and a renewed passion to live for building God's kingdom.
As we look back on the year, we gave thanks.
Celebrating God's faithfulness through every season.
This year, we had a vision to create a mural, and together, as a church, we all took part.
Contributing piece by piece, it became more than just an artwork,
It became a reflection of unity,
a visible reminder that each of us has a part to play.
and that together, we are building God's kingdom.
And as the year came to a close, we gathered to celebrate Christmas.
A time filled with joy, laughter, and fellowship.
Through services, games, and shared moments,
We were reminded of the true meaning of Christmas,
that Jesus came into the world, bringing hope, salvation, and new life.
and that everything we celebrate points back to Him.
As we look back on this year, we see more than just moments and milestones.
We see a church that has been growing right where God has placed us.
Through every camp, every gathering, every act of service,
God has been shaping us,
we've seen lives transformed
faith strengthened.
and a boldness to live for God
We've been reminded to lift our eyes beyond what is temporary,
and to fix them on what is eternal.
because everything we do here is part of what God is doing for eternity.
This year wasn't just about what we did,
It was about who we are becoming,
a church rooted in Christ
focused on eternity.
and committed to growing where God has placed us. All
for His glory.
As our territory have expanded, I believe God is calling us in 2025 to grow the place that God has put us in. We're like a lighthouse in this part of the city. Our light shine in the community. We're shining a light where there are darknesses. So that has always been our calling. We have to shine out. We have to be witnesses. Live such good lives so that they can see what we're doing. we as a church should focus in Colossians here. Since we have been raised with Christ, we set our hearts on things above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things above, not